banging misses and videos. While I'm with my freak like we up in the freak shows. Hit you with this shit, make you feel it all in your toes. Hot shh, got all my people in red clothes. Styling my metaphors when I formulate my flows. If you don't know, you're messing with lyrical player pros like that. Wanna party with me?
Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Walking His Ways Impact Wars podcast. Of course, you know I am your host, your boy, your friend. Well, you want to say Furman Jackson Jr. We're broadcast once again out of DFW. That is Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Which part of the area, if everyone want to know what the DFW mean. Once again, this is our Tuesday night edition, man. I hope everybody had a great Tuesday. Hope everybody had a very great, productive Tuesday. We know that, once again, our eyes are open. Of course, you know, our heart is pumping our blood. We know that we're still alive and we're present. And most importantly, we're here for a purpose. We're here for an assignment. We're here for a mission. The name of this episode is called Life Up Every Day. This episode is very, I think it's different compared to other episodes that have been being produced every week because I have a very extraordinary man on this episode tonight. Very strong story. I just want y'all to open your hearts to receive the message that's coming from this vessel tonight that's truly going to bless you. I believe it's going to bless you. I believe it's going to take you to a whole nother level in your life. We are already in the 7th month of 2024. This year is almost over with. We have to ask ourselves, are we, as I'm satisfied where I'm at, or could I be doing more in my life? You know, we get excited between December 31st, January 1st. We get so excited, but then through the rest of this year, we allow things to come in. We allow things to come in to distract us. We allow things to come in to hinder us. We allow things to try to keep us back from reaching that point in our lives where, you know what, I know I was created to be more than what I am here in life. God did not create you to be a waste. If you ever read the scripture, he lets you know that you're the apple of his eye. He lets you know you're the head and not the tail. He lets you know that you're blessed going in, blessed going out. He lets you know that you're more than a conqueror. These are things he bestowed upon us. And these are things that we have to believe for ourselves. You are extraordinary individual. You are extraordinary man and woman. You are blessed. You are gifted. When he let us know all these great things. But I'm very excited once again. Also, before we go any further, big shout out to Nicole Bolden in the comment section. She said, "Good evening. I'm here. Thank you for tuning in, Nicole." And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are live streaming on my personal page, which is the Fermi Jackson Jr. page. We're live streaming on the podcast page of Walking This Ways on Facebook. We're live streaming on LinkedIn as well. To all my entrepreneurs, my business people on the LinkedIn side. Also, we're live streaming on YouTube. So if you're on the YouTube side, go ahead and subscribe. Click the like button. Leave some comments. Let's take this thing to the whole next level. I've been doing this thing since 2009. A lot of people say, you know what, Fermi, you got to take this to the next level. People say, Fermi, it's time for you to start getting this, start getting that. We're on the verge of that, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about staying consistent. And what this Bible tells us, if you be faithful of a few things, he'll make you rule over many. And we come to that. And also, we're live streaming on Twitch as well. So we are, and big shout out to Nicole Morris as well. She said, good evening, everyone. Big shout out to everybody who's tuning in. But anyway, I talked a lot. I really did. Tonight, when I'm on the show, it's not about me. It's about my guests that I have on the show. But I appreciate you, V. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I had a conversation with this individual on the phone this morning. He shared some great stuff with me. And he didn't want to share a lot because he wanted this to be on the show where everyone can receive this great word. This great message, of course. Like I say, I want y'all to open your hearts, open your spirits, because I believe this word gonna bless you. And if you are watching this on Facebook right now, go ahead and share this on your page. Tag someone. The name of this episode is called Life Up Every Day. That's the name of it. So, V, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir. Thank you. I know you follow me on TikTok. You've seen the clips of the show. And you reached out to me, wanted to come on the show to be a blessing as well, but store what you've been through, what you experienced, knowing your story gonna really open up a lot of people's eyes. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody can hear me clearly. You can hear me clearly, Mr. Jack?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good? Okay. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. I'm really honored by coming on to this show today, and there's a lot that I have on my heart. There's a lot that I have on my mind that I want to be able to make sure that we put onto this particular episode. And again, thank you everybody that's on here that's listening. Please go ahead and follow. Please, if there's any way that you can show any kind of love, donations, whatever it may be. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. This particular episode, I wanted to really, really take my time and really break it down due to the simple fact that there's a lot of things that we're going through in this world today. And we get so caught up with social media. We get so caught up with the persona that this world is trying to put out in front of us that we forget the actual mission. And a lot of people say, "Well, V, what's the mission? What's the mission?" Well, it starts with some. It starts with a little bit of something like this. Just because you hate the chapter, don't mean you should hate the book. Love yourself. Just because you hate the chapter that you're going through in your life right now, don't mean you need to hate the entire book. Because you're here for a reason. And my reasoning currently right now, I have come to an understanding on what I'm here for. And like Mr. Jackson said earlier, we had a conversation earlier, and I really wanted to keep this for this particular episode so that a lot of people can see that, you know what, even though you go through certain things in life, just because you fall down, don't mean that you have to stay down. And if you don't know how to get up, find the people, look for the direction that God has you pointing in, and allow those people to help pick you up. A lot of us can let our egos get, in between. A lot of us, let a lot of things in life stop us, whether it's finances, whether it's, family, whether it's friends. We go in a whole bunch of circles. And I wanted to kind of, get into my story currently right now and kind of letting a lot of people know that this particular story that I'm going to share with everybody, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I hope everybody is tuning in. I hope everybody is really listening. Back in 2014, it was the night before Father's Day night. There was a friend of mine who gave me a call. I was at the house. I think I was watching TV at the time. And there was a friend of mine. He gave me a phone call. And he just, picking up the phone like a, regular day. Like I said, it was the night before Father's Day night. And at the moment, I wasn't married. I was dating someone who had 2 children. She is currently now my wife. But we had 2 sons, 2 stepsons, and they were, I think, coming from Orlando. If I can remember, they were coming from Orlando, and they were driving back, and it had to be about 10:45 around this. When my friend called me at home, while I was at home, he basically said, "Hey V, I'm going through some stuff. I need your help. I really need your help, my man." And me at the time, I was just like, what's good? What's going on? What happened? And I guess he was in a situation where he lost his home. And that's when the devil showed his face. Because as soon as someone is going through something and they come to you, that's God setting something up for you to be a blessing for somebody. A lot of the times, our egos can, our attitude can allow us to close people out. And sometimes you don't know whether that's God setting up something in your life at that moment to be able to not only just be a blessing to you, but to completely be a blessing to somebody else. And sometimes we can be slow to hear and feel that spirit. And we allow the devil to pull us away to where we'll throw our attitude out there and say, you know what, I don't have time for this right now. At that moment, I was just like, what's good? What's going on, my man? And he was just like, man, I need your help. I lost my crib. Me, my daughter, and my wife were at the hotel. And this is down here in Palm Bay, Florida. Um, and I stopped and I was just like, okay, wow. Right at that moment, I automatically understood where he was at and where his mind was at because I was once in that predicament myself. And that was a test whether I was going to act like everybody else who treated me the same way when I was in that situation. But I want to say I had probably about $1,500 in my account. I took out maybe $600-700 out of that at one of the banks up the street from where the hotel was at. And I jumped in my car. I took some money out. He gave me the address. I went to the hotel. When I got there, we walked inside and I paid for them to be able to stay there for at least 2 months. As I was walking out, he was breaking. He was kind of, tearing up and he was kind of breaking down. And it was kind of like, wow, like you didn't, why so much? Why so much? I'm not going to be able to pay you this. And I said, I didn't ask you to pay me that.
Right.
I wish somebody would have taken the steps that I took when I was in your position, my man. There's no pressure. And he was like, you serious right now? I was like, yeah, I'm dead serious. You gotta pay me back. I'll figure it out. I'm good at it. And he kind of teared up and gave me a hug. And right, probably about 30-40 seconds after that, my fiance called and she said, the boys want to say something to you. And I hear, my 2 stepsons in the background and they're like, Happy Father's Day, Daddy. We coming home. Happy Father's Day. We got you a present. And I'm looking clueless because it's like midnight at the time and I'm handling this situation. And they're telling me Happy Father's Day. I don't know how to take it at the moment. So I look down at my phone and it's like 12:01, 12:02, somewhere around there. And it hit me for a second because I was just like, wow, that kind of feels good. Happy Father's Day. And I give him another hug. I said, bro, I got to get home because my people's getting home. I got to get home. Happy Father's Day. And then I shot him another $150, Father's Day gift. And I'm getting ready to run across the parking lot to my vehicle to, hurry up and beat them, my kids and my fiance home. I'm trying to beat them home.
Right.
And what I remember is as I was running across the parking lot, I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at my cell phone and I'm trying to, swipe up. And I step into a pothole. And me stepping into that pothole, my entire right ankle turned and was caught inside that pothole in the parking lot. And once that happened, I just completely dropped to my knees. And the second I dropped to my knees, my phone went down. And I can hear him, V. And I look at him. And all I can see is just like this ring light that's in front of me. All I can see is a light right there in my face. And it was one of those commercial bands. He hit me head on. My entire face went. And all I remember was I seen the front of the van, and from that second, I think I don't too much recall anything else but the pipe under the van, and I was out. And at that moment, I was right there in between life and death. And there was a decision that had to be made. And that decision, I can be honest with you, that decision, I'm so grateful for that decision because God could have called me home
Right.
And like I was telling you earlier, Mr. Jackson, the most important currency we have in this world, the most important currency we have in this world is our time. And when that clock, when your clock, your biological clock is closed down, that's it. And at that moment, all I can remember was all I remember was him calling my name, me seeing the pipe under the van, and I was out. And from all the police reports and from everything, they said I was rushed to the hospital. There's a hospital about 5 minutes from where the accident was at. But it was not a trauma unit. It was just a regular, Palm Bay hospital. They don't have like a very extensive emergency department, but they had the helicopters come out there, but they couldn't put me in the helicopter because of how bad the trauma was, because I was hit straight on and ran over. I seen the back tire. I remember when I was under the van, I can see the pipe, and I was in and out, and then I think I seen the back tire, and then I was out, and they said that they had to rush me to Palm Bay Hospital to stabilize me, or they would have lost me on flight. So they took me to Palm Bay Hospital. Once they took me to Palm Bay Hospital, they turned around, and about 2.5, 3 hours later, they said that they had to fly me out, airlift me out to Holmes Regional Hospital. And once I got to Holmes Regional Hospital, everything was so bad that I was in a coma for about a week and a half, and they had to induce my coma another 20-something days. So I was literally in a coma for close to about 25 to 30 days. And it's like you're when you go to court and you're waiting to hear the verdict, and you're sitting there, you're waiting to hear the verdict of whether you're convicted of a crime or something like that. It was like that entire time frame right there was like I was in court, and I was waiting for a verdict. And it was almost as if God was like, I have some things I need you to see. I have some things I need you to handle. I know your sins. I know what you've done wrong. I know your heart better than you know your own heart. I cannot take you now, because if I take you now, the conversations that we're having right now, especially on this show, would not even exist. This conversation right now, this episode, who knows that if it would even exist?
Right.
Who knows that it's like currently right now that I'm speaking with you guys right now. It's an honor to me, because if at that time I would have been dead, who's to say that you would be here doing what you're doing right now? And who's to say that this was supposed to happen? And I honestly feel like that day really opened my eyes to what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be going, who I'm supposed to be planting seeds with in good ground and watching the fruits thereof to grow up. And the biggest part of this story was when I met this young lady. We were living unholy, I'll be honest. And God was like, no, you guys are doing it wrong. Y'all been doing it wrong for so long. I'm not going to release the blessing that I have in store for you until I see exactly what you're in the place that I need you to be in. And At that moment of that accident, it was the devil that was trying to put me in a situation to where he was going to stop God's blessing. And God was like, no, I have more power over his life. I have more power over this situation than you do. And I know what he's capable of. So I'm not going to allow you to take him by whatever you try to send his way, because he was trying to be a blessing to somebody else. Because if I would, let's just say that I was going over there to go buy a whole bunch of, dope or something like that, a whole bunch of
Right.
drugs. Who's to say that that situation would turn out totally different? Who's to say that? And because of where my heart was at that moment, just says that the only entity, the only thing that was there that was hovering over my life at that moment was God. Because when I was in that coma, and a lot of people say, V, are you sure? Like, seriously? It's like I'm talking to you right now, Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir.
When I was in my coma, I had a dream. You know how sometimes you can have a dream and it
Right.
can be almost so vivid that you can wake up and you stop and you just start thinking about certain things and like, wow. And you just kind of shake it off like, but that wouldn't happen. I had a dream. A little kid walks up to me. And as he's walking up to me, it says, Daddy, you said work before play. And I got all A's on my report card. I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. And he hands me the piece of paper. And I remember when he handed me that piece of paper, I looked at him and I kind of smiled at him. I could not vividly see his face, but it was almost like I was looking at myself. And I looked at the piece of paper and there was nothing on the paper. It was just blank piece of paper. And I said, you know what? Go get your shoes. Let's go. I'm going to take you to Chuck E. Cheese. Let's go. And I'm rolling over out the bed thinking I'm going to put my shoes on and get dressed and, take this kid to Chuck E. Cheese, not knowing that I was waking up out of my coma. And this is almost 26, 27 days later. I'm waking up to my mom screaming off the top of her lungs. I'm waking up to my fiance at the time, her yelling for the doctors. He's up, he's up. His eyes are open, he's up, he's up. And if you go on my TikTok, you'll see I've posted a few pictures and stuff like that when I was fully, in my full body cast, my neck brace, everything. And I'm looking down as much as I can, and there's cords everywhere. I mean, they had chest tubes. I think I had 2 chest tubes. I think I had just everywhere. Three and a half years later, 2014, 15, 16, 17. 4.5 years later, I finally put a ring on my wife's finger and I married her. I've been with her for 14 years now.
It's a long time.
10 years out of those 14 years, thank you, my man. 10 years out of those 14 years, we were living unholy. We were living outside of how we were supposed to be living. After 2014 going into 2017, after we got married, the year after we got married, she was pregnant with my first son. It was as if God was like, I need you to do exactly what I need you to do before I can bless you with what you're looking for. And it was almost as if my son was in my dream and he was camped around me. And he was saying, Daddy, work before play. I need you to wake up. I need you to wake up, because if you don't wake up, I don't exist. I don't exist. I would never be here. Mommy would never see who I am. Mommy would never know me. And every day I look at my 3-year-old right now. Every day I look at him and I just think to myself like, wow, boy, wow. If I would have died that night helping someone else in their family, my son would not be here. I would never got married. I would have died living a sinful life. And that's where you know that sometimes when it's time for him to call you, you better make sure your life is right, and you better make sure that you're standing 10 toes down in his word and around people that are going to help build you up. Because if you're not prepared, there's nothing he can do at that time. But there's so much he will do if you show your heart and you show exactly who you are and how you treat people and how you are around people and how you treat yourself the most. That's why I'm so honored to be on this show. That's why I'm so honored to be, to talk with you, Mr. Jackson. It's that night when that commercial van hit me face on, till this day, my family is going through it. My family now are going through it. My family now is dealing with home issues and stuff like that. We're kind of stable now, but I'm set in a position to where my wife is the breadwinner right now, and I'm the one really kind of helping her with the household and helping her with the kids and stuff like that to kind of take the toll off of her. And I was the one that was bringing in a lot of the money. Sold cars for 5, 6 years, 7 years. I mean, I was making 80, 90,000 a year. And not being able to completely be a help to her like I wanted to, it's almost like the devil sometimes to sit there and laugh in my face. Like, yeah, I got you anyways. And I'm grateful to be able to walk, because I had a 60 to 70% chance I'd never walk again. I had another 40 to 50% chance that I'd probably be brain dead. I went for years now with having seizures in my sleep because of the head trauma that I experienced. I had 2 rods and 9 screws in my spine. I lost 5 ribs. I had hip surgery on both of my hips. I had surgery on both of my knees and one of my ankles. The skin on my right arm has been completely ripped off because when he hit me, he didn't just hit me and stop. He hit me and drugged me. I had complete shoulder surgery on my right shoulder, to the point where me even talking with you guys right now is a blessing. And we take that word so for granted that just me talking with you guys right now is a complete blessing. And every day that, I get a chance to find a way to speak out and speak about this, which I don't as much, I take heed to it because someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through, stop, sit down, close your eyes, and speak to him. You may not physically hear what you want to hear, But I guarantee you, your entire life will change the more that you sit down and speak to him. I was telling you earlier, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jackson, our accountant that's up there, he's our number one accountant. He's the one that controls the currency that he blessed us with each and every day. And that currency that he blessed us with is time. And the time that we have on this earth that we spend every day with, regardless whether we like it or not. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what religion you choose to practice. Time doesn't care where you come from. Time doesn't care what you're going through. It's going to keep going. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, time is going to keep going. And you have to ask yourself, how are you managing your bank account called life that God has blessed you with? And if you're managing that bank account like you care about that bank account, I guarantee you, you'll get the fullness and you'll be as rich as possible. Because currently, right now, God has said that we are all rich. We are all completely rich. I mean, we have all the money in the world. We have all the money in the world. And when I say money, I mean we have all the time in the world. How you choose to use that time and how you choose to value that time is all up to you. And I usually tell my wife this, hey, listen, if you don't value your money and how you spend your money, how can I trust you value your time? If you are poor money management, if you manage money poorly, go get some help. Go get around some people that know how to manage money. Because once you start learning how to manage money, I guarantee you're gonna see more how valuable your time is. When you go to work and you clock in for work, you clock in, you know that they're paying me this much money hourly, and you gonna work that much time hourly. And I guarantee you're gonna want your paycheck at the end of the week. It's no different with your time.
That's true.
No different with your time.
Yeah, that's true. And just hearing your story for the very first time, the full fledged of your story, it still gets you to think what we had in our lives. Like, if anything happens to us, and that's not said, are we prepared? Is our heart prepared? Is our mind prepared? How we live and how we conduct ourselves on a regular basis. And I know at times we take stuff for granted. We complain a lot. We murmur a lot. We take things for granted and not value the time, not valuing what God blessed us with. Not forget about the gratitude, but should be grateful and be thankful. Whether if I may not have a dime in my account, I need to still say thank you that I have a roof over my head.
Amen. That's a very big point that you just made there. That's a very huge point that you just made there. Because a lot of us, what happens is we get so caught up with the mindset of, because I don't have the currency in my bank account, I devalue everything else that God has placed in my life. I devalue the fact that I have a vehicle to get to work. I devalue the fact that I have a roof over my head. I devalue the fact that I have food in my refrigerator. And it's almost as if, like, God, well, if you don't bless me with money, I could care less about everything else. Well, why are you working in the first place? Why are you working in the first place? Remember what I told you earlier? When we clock in, they're not paying you hourly. They're not paying you. They're paying you hourly for the work that you're doing. But how you should think about it and how you should view it is they're paying me for the value that I bring to that hour. I'm valuable to that hour. They're paying me because they trust me that I'm going to get the job done and I'm going to get the job done correctly. And God has placed us here because he values us as human beings. You're not a waste of earthly space. You're not. And if you treat yourself as such, then guess what? That's how you're gonna look at yourself.
Right.
I wrote another thing down. Sometimes the things that break your heart end up fixing your vision. Sometimes those things that break your heart end up fixing your vision. Those relationships, those bad friendships, those hurtful words that mom may say to you or dad may say to you, those things that may break you may fix your vision on how you may treat your children someday, on how you may treat your friends, on how you treat your wife, on how you treat your husband. Those hurtful things that break you down sometimes are those things that's going to help you fix your vision sometimes. But you got to make sure that you planting your seed in good ground. Stop thinking that you planting your seeds everywhere in the world. You're going to see some fruits of it because there's going to be some people in your backyard that's going to be quick to cut your trees down and take your fruit from you.
That's true.
It's their job. The devil was there after Eve. The devil saw what Eve had to bring to this world. The devil saw what Adam had to bring into this world. And he had to find a way to come and ruin or try to ruin what God had in store for us as human beings. Let's stop playing with this, man. All I can say is tomorrow's not promised to you. Just like the few notes I gave you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I really mean those things. I really, really mean those things. Yo. I really mean those things. Be careful who you call your friends. Be careful who you call your friends. Because I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Careful of the people in your circle. Because they're also plotting. They also have Satan that's chasing them also to get rid of you. Ain't no telling that me getting up out of my seat that day after watching TV and jumping in my car to go run to go help somebody. The devil was like, I gotta find a way to stop him. I gotta stop him. Because ain't no telling whether my friend actually closed his eyes and prayed and asked God for some kind of help somewhere. And he picked up the phone and he called me. And I answered that call. And I went to go do God's work at that moment. And the devil was like, I got to stop him. I can't let that blessing unfold. Because if I let that blessing unfold, I just lost one more person to God. I just lost one more person to God. I cannot let that happen. And that's exactly what he tried to do. And God was like, no, I'm protecting him. I will shield him. And a 2-ton vehicle took me out. And I'm still standing here right now speaking to you guys about it because the shield that I had that was in front of me was so much more mightier and so much more stronger that there was nothing the devil can go and throw out that could stop me at all.
Man, like I said, this is on point. I'm really enjoying it. And I think everybody in the comment section who are tuning in, I think for everybody sharing tonight's episode, that this is an episode about gratitude. This is an episode to realize, let us sit down as V was sharing his story, that we all need to sit down. All of us need to sit down and examine ourselves and examine our heart, make sure it's right, make sure it's lined up right, just to make sure that whenever our eyes close, that once we go before our Creator Himself, that everything was on point, everything was lined up to determine our destination on the other side of
Yes,
life, they say the afterlife. So this episode is really about gratitude. Let's be grateful. Let's be thankful. Most importantly, that's always prove working upon ourselves. Long as our heart is pumping blood and we're open our eyes to see another day, that's another day for us to continue on working on getting better each and every day. You made some great points, V, about our associations. Be careful who you call friend. We know you have
yes,
social media that have a thing called a friends list. We know the
yes,
people that's on our friend list. We know we don't interact with them every day. We know we don't have conversation with them every day, unless you're doing business or maybe family members. We all ever talk to our family members, but it's the things we always quit the label as people. We put individuals in certain seats that should not be in them seats. Um,
that's definitely true.
it's just like a job. If you go for a job interview for a position, they sit down with you, they get to know you to see if you're a qualified candidate for that position. They're not just
Correct.
going to give you that position. They'll call you in for another interview just to see if your mindset or if you still in that state of mindset that they talked to you before they actually give that position. And I just say they trust you once they say, okay, I have we talked over everything. We like what we heard, we like what we seen. They got your background, of course. Hey, the job is yours, but they entrust you with that position. And I like what you mentioned about when you go to work. You go to work because they paying you for that performance. They paying you on your, and I say that all the time too, V. You get paid on your performance.
Yes,
Because when they see you going, when you go in, get the job done. Okay, they see, okay, I'm paying you for your performance. They're not just paying you just to sit around. They're not just paying you just to be lazy. They paying you on performance, and that's how our life should be. That we base everything on performance on our personal lives. That every day we should put in work every day. As they say, no days off. Long open up our eyes, we gotta make sure we're right, make sure we line up, and don't take for
everything has
granted.
to be lined up. Yes. You can't. You can't take it for granted because when you do take it for granted, that's when you lose sight of your purpose.
Right.
You lose sight of your purpose because you take stuff for granted. And again, it's like, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth
No.
because it may it, it puts them in a position to where it destroys the illusion. A lot of people have illusions in their head that when the truth comes out, it destroys that illusion in their head, so they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to receive the truth because they have created a narrative in their mind that I don't want to believe this, even though I know it's right, and even though I know it's the truth. I don't want to live this way because I rather live this way because it's much easier. I rather if I go to work, I rather, skip out on a few hours here and there because I'm tired. No, what you're doing is you're devaluing the job. Number one, you're devaluing the fact that they're paying you. Number two, you're devaluing your worth as an individual and your value as a person to that position. You're basically saying that you're not good enough. You're telling them you're not good enough. You're telling even when it comes to the children. Me, I have a 3-year-old. I wake up in the morning. I go in there, whether he used the bathroom or not. I wake up 8 o'clock while my wife is gone to work that morning. I change his diaper. I take him downstairs. I get him, I fix his breakfast. I put him on the back patio where all his toys and stuff are at, and this and that, because we have a closed-in back patio. I take him back there, turn on his TV. He's back there eating his breakfast. He's back there playing with his toys and watching his cartoons. And then I turn around and 12 o'clock or 11:30, 12 o'clock, I change him again, take him to the bathroom, take him a shower. 2 o'clock come around, mom is coming home, change him for the third time. And he's downstairs with me or he's outside with me shooting on his little basketball hoop, playing around outside. And I keep him out of mom's hair because mom is tired. Mom needs to get some sleep and mom needs to relax. And then when mom gets up, she grabs her baby boy and my other boys, they chip in. I value my time here. I may not be getting paid to be a father. I may not be getting paid for it, but I value my position. Right. I value my position in my life right now. Why? Because I can no longer take my life and my time for granted. I can't do it. You can't play with that time.
I agree.
That time, your time belongs to you. But time itself is going to keep going whether you're here or not.
Yeah. Hey, that's it. Because every time you look up, it's like time. It's like, did it skip an hour? Because you look at it third time, and then like, did it skip an hour, 2 hours? Like, dang, the time is flying by. But it lets us know, what are we being occupied with our time? Christ said, occupy to our return. And we're going to talk about that too after that commercial break. We're going to be talking about occupy when we go to after the commercial break.
Just living the best of my life. Same thing. Spend time, educate your mind one time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. I'm on that same thing. Spend time, educate your mind one time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah, what you know about that? Believe I receive. I ain't talking about the contact. Fall back. No, you know what? Let it in. Jesus says, and Gabe brought his own testament. Testify. I ain't never been a pedophile. Recognize my baby girl is my prize. No games. Word is bond. And I've been working so hard. I just thank, oh Lord, that we made it thus far. And I got my prayers up that the troops come home. I can feel your energy even through these broken walls. And I got my prayers up that the troops come home. I can feel your energy even through these broken walls. Same thing. Spend time, educate your mind one time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. I'm on that same thing. Spend time, educate your mind one time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Gotta sacrifice, been working my whole life. But when I look back, he's been there my whole life. Love working on the inside, so. And for that news, looking and feeling brand new. Got a crew for the dollar sign. What's more loyal is they don't need to see a dollar sign to be there for you. Respect the wishes. And I got bills too, so respect is given. We about to take flight, secure precision. Anything you put your heart into, you can do. Had to run the numbers up when I showed the proofs. Just living the best of my life. Just living the best of my life. Same thing. Spend time, educate your mind one time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Man, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. I'm on that same thing. Spend time, educate your mind one time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, we on that. Yeah. Just living the best of my life. Just living the best of my life, yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Wave Impact Wars podcast. You know, it's our Tuesday night edition, and we broadcast every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Saturday here on the Walking This Wave Impact Wars podcast. I want to thank you, V, for coming on, taking time out your productive schedule to share your story. I know you reached out to me on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok from the show, and want to come on, share your story, and I'm glad we made it happen. That's another thing too. V is making things happen. I know a lot of
Yeah,
times in life we talk about, yeah, we gonna do this, yeah, we do that, but we never follow through with the obligation that we put out there. You know, I'm a firm advocate for
you hit it. You hit it on the
being,
nose.
yeah, meaning what you say. 'Cause I know we say a lot
Yeah,
of things is cliche, but we never live up to it. And I'm a firm believer in living up to the expectation. I know time out for talking, 'cause we could talk all day, but we need to make it happen. You know, because we keep talking, but we're not making anything happen. And I'm a firm believer in that making things happen. Like you said, anything can happen. Tomorrow's not a promise, and we don't want to live in regret. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh, I should have did that. Oh, I should have did that. Because we once it present itself, once the opportunity present itself, we need
yeah.
to take advantage and seize the opportunity, and don't put off tomorrow what we could do today. And I know Christ said, "Occupy till I return." In other words, be active till He returns. So we come have to be active. Because we currently active, you're more engaged and more focused on the thing that you're doing. Positivity, of course, productive wise, but not just wasting life. You know, you have some people who are living, you have some people who just existing. It is what it is. I'm just getting by. But you actually got individuals out there who are living life. You know, Christ I came that you might have life and have life more abundantly. And that's the mindset we should get into, that He came that we might have life and have life more abundantly. And I know we're in the times now, we on this with the materialistic rat race. You know, I hear people
Yeah.
say, "I'm chasing the bag, I'm chasing the bag, I'm chasing the bag," and if they don't have any funds, they down themselves. They feel bad, because of how society is and how society dictates us how we're supposed to live.
Jay, you know it's funny that you say that you brought that up.
Hmm.
That saying, I'm out here chasing a bag. I'm out here chasing a bag. While you out here chasing a bag, the question you gotta ask yourself is, while you chasing the bag, is that the only thing that you worried about? Because if we just out here chasing the bag, we devalue everything else. No, you should be chasing how to change the direction of your life. What church do you attend? What man of God do you follow? Who do you have speaking into your life? What kind of friends you have? How is your house constructed at home? Well, you don't tell me about home. That's me. I take care of my house. Okay, how do you construct your household?
Mm.
How are your children being raised? Are your children being raised the same way you were being raised? Are we still creating the generational curse that the same sins of our parents, are we re-implementing it in our household now? Are you
Mm.
worrying about chasing a bag? Because your parents was chasing the bag also. They probably was chasing it a little bit harder than you were, because back then it was a little bit more difficult. Nowadays you can make money any kind of way, every kind of way. You out here worrying about money, worry about your time and your value that you have here on this earth. Because while you spending so much time chasing that bag, you are wasting so much time with how to build your children up, how to be adults.
That's it.
You're
That's
wasting
it.
the time that you were supposed to be putting into your household. You are wasting the time that you were supposed to be putting with the people that are around you that look up to you because you're still worried about cash. Cash, yes. Cash, listen, money is is something in life that we need to be able to have so that we can be functional.
Right.
That is 100% true. But it is not the structure of who we are as human beings. No, stop making. I mean, nowadays it's like, man, listen, it behoves me that I see people going through the craziest things every day. And when I say I see people going through the craziest things every day, it's almost as if, one second here. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, you good.
Issue with my chart. I see people going through the same motions of, you wonder why you're going through the same thing over and over again, and then you're expecting a different result.
Right. Call it insane.
You're just crazy. Yeah, keep chasing the bag. While you keep chasing the bag, and while you getting the money, guess what? Your pockets are fat, your account is fat, but your mind is small. Your heart is broken. There's so many people out there that got millions in their account, and they're doing stuff that's gonna already have the gates open in hell ready for them to walk in. Why? Because they were so money happy here and here that they forgot why they were here in the first place. I had $1,500 in my account. Yes, I had rent to pay. That was coming up. But I knew I went to work. I knew I worked to make my money. I knew that I valued my job, and I valued my position in my job to the point where I knew I worked hard for my money, and it wasn't none of my business why he ended up in the hotel. It wasn't none of my business why he couldn't pay his rent. That's between him and God. He called on me, not to say that I'm gonna jump every time somebody calls to go pay somebody's bills or go help somebody in that sense. I understand that. I may not be able to do that, but I was in that position at one point in my life where I was sleeping in my car. And my wife, she had somewhere to stay, and I was okay with that until we got onto our feet. And my wife was the one that made sure that I had gas in my car. She made sure that I had food that night, and she took care of the babies until we got onto our feet. I would not allow her and those kids to sleep in the car with me. There was friends I called, they couldn't do nothing. There was family I called, they basically, closed me out, whatever. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for teaching me who I need to be later on. And I was put in that position, and God said, I want to see what you're going to do. And I didn't make money so much more important than another man and his wife and his two daughters. I didn't make money so much more important at that time over their wellness at that moment. I can always get money, but let's say that I turned my back on him and he ended up, not being able to handle the stress. And let's say that he did something that would have, and I had a chance to be able to help him at that time. Because the devil will put some sick thoughts in your head and in your heart that will make you do some things because you can't take the pressure no more. And somebody could have been that blessing in your life, and they chose to turn their back on you. And the devil was like, yes, yes, that's what I need you to do. Thank you. I appreciate you for that one. Yes. And what we do all the time is we high five the devil when we have a chance to be a blessing in somebody's life.
Right.
We'll turn around and high five the devil and treat somebody as if If we were in that position, how would we want that person to react to us? That's how we
Yeah,
need to look at things.
that's true.
That's how we
That's
need to
true.
look at things. Man.
Hey, that's true. That sums it up. I know we're about to ready to get off the air tonight, of course.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any final remarks, any sign of advice, any words of wisdom that you want to leave here with the audience that's watching as we live streaming, and we'll go and look at the replay in the near future?
Understand where you're at. Understand where you're standing right now. Because if you don't understand where you're standing right now, how can you fully invest into where you're going? A lot of the times we don't understand where we're at. And when you say V, what do you mean by understand where I'm at? Okay. Are you in a position where you feel like you are blessed, highly favored, and comfortable and is going forward? Because a lot of the time it takes for us to take a step back and really evaluate where we're at and
Mm-hmm.
understand where you're at so that you know how to go forward. Because like I told you earlier in our conversation over the phone, your show was you tapping me on the shoulder and made me look to the left or to the right. However, your show was the reason why I stopped and said that, oh, I need to I need to address what's on my heart so that some people can take this. And again, you're a blessing, my man. You have so much in store for you that you don't even know that's coming yet. Everybody that's watching the show, please, not just for me, not just for my man Jay, not just for yourself, but there's so many people out here that need to link in and grab onto these episodes. And sometimes somebody may be going through something and they
Right.
need to grab one of these episodes and they need to listen to one of these episodes to help get them back on track. Because guess what? We can't change the wind in the direction the wind goes, but we can adjust the sail and maneuver our way around with the wind so that we can get to the destination that we're going. God bless you guys. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Jess. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson, for having me on today. Please click subscribe. Please share these episodes. Share every last one of these things because all you're going to do is open up the door that God has already given Mr. Jackson the key to so that we can go ahead and continue to change lives each and every day.
That's what it's all about. I appreciate you, V.
That's all it's about.
Taking time out to produce the schedule. I appreciate you. Thank you everybody for watching us. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Of course, if you're on the YouTube side of tonight, go ahead and hit that notification button, subscribe, hit the like, leave comment, share. That's what it's all about. You know, it's all about taking the thing to the next level. It's already at that level, but also take it to higher heights. I think what the scripture said, we go from glory to glory to glory. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's up from here. I will be back tomorrow. Actually, I'll be doing the show at 10 a.m. In the morning.
Right.
So if you are available, tune in on YouTube, Facebook, where you may be present at. I got an awesome young man that's going to be on here tomorrow morning. I love inspirational people. I love motivated people. I love people who are, I almost say just motivated, but people who discipline, because it's discipline above motivation. Motivation is just a feeling, but discipline is when you don't feel like you still got to keep going on because you're disciplined. And that's what Christ required of us, to be disciplined. And we got to discipline ourselves because everything starts with what? Self first. It's getting this flesh under subjection that we won't allow the
Yes.
flesh to lead us. Because the Apostle Paul says, no good thing come out the flesh. And we know no good thing don't come out the flesh. We know what comes out the flesh. We know the behavior, the mindset, the activity that does come from this flesh that we're in.
Yes.
So we got to bring this flesh under subjection. They will not lead us astray even though the scripture tells us be angry, but sin not. We know what anger will cause, right? It's okay to be
Right.
angry, but if you allow that anger to turn to sin, then you regret it later on. That's why people, when they do stuff, they're angry, they don't think at that time, and once it's over with and reality set in, it's like, why did I do that for? Because you allow anger to take control. You allow anger
A lot
for
of
you to take
flesh, yeah.
someone's life. You allow anger to say something to somebody that y'all not cool no more because of anger. So,
And it's allowing that flesh to take over. You're right. You
right.
100% right. I want to
Yes.
leave this last bit of note that I wrote
Yeah,
before
go ahead.
we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I want this I want everybody here. If you can hear this and you can write this down, you can take this, put it on your mirror when you're going to work or when you're coming home. Even if you're mad at somebody, even if it comes down to a decision that you're making, I want you guys to take this and I want you guys to hold on to this. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past. Wisdom is of the future. You always gonna have knowledge. But guess what? Once you've received that knowledge, you can forget about that knowledge. You can forget about it. Back in the days when you were a child and they taught you what's 1+1, you got that knowledge. But when you started to add that 1+1 with how your bills were paid, how life was situated in your life, how things were taken care of when it came to your finances and stuff like that, that's because you became more wise in how to use that knowledge. So you're always going to be getting knowledge. So seek wisdom, not just knowledge. Knowledge is of the past. Wisdom is of the future. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. I hope everybody got that, and hope one day I see you guys again, my man. Hey, Jay,
most definitely.
Most definitely.
All right, most definitely, man. Y'all be blessed. Have a great night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow morning here on the Walking His Ways Impact Voice Podcast. Peace, everybody.
Peace.